Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe.
Have you ever considered separate room play? We've been thinking about it more lately and have a couple in mind we might try it with. We're going to have a candid discussion about what that would look like and why we are considering it.
Welcome to Swinger University with Ed and Phoebe.
But first, we want to thank 7 of our patrons this month. So we're going to give you a shout out. Mahmood, Michael, Robert, Fred, Patrick, the Texas couple, and Burberry. Thank you so much for your patronage. We really appreciate it.
So this is a little different format for us. We're going to kind of just dig in.
I know. It's a candid discussion. We went on a play date. We've had a couple play dates, actually, with this particular couple, and we're very comfortable with them. And they play at different speeds. Describe these different speeds.
Well, she's kind of a get straight to business lady.
Yes, she is.
And the gentleman is a little bit more of a warm and smooth, kind of get into it slowly.
Yes, which I really love. And he misses that type of interaction with her. He gets it, obviously. They're a couple. He does get that time with her, but he doesn't really get to dive into it because she gives a little and he gives a little. So she's more DTF and he likes to take his time. So when he and I are together, we have spent, oh my goodness, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, just foreplay.
Yeah.
Just smooching and caressing and just doing all the tantric maneuvers, just.
Yeah, lots of warm up. You
Yes.
really like to warm up slowly with
I am.
exercise, with
And everything.
activities, with everything. Like there's kind of this slow buildup
Yes.
for getting in the mood for whatever it is.
Right. So he plays to that for me, and you are happy to accommodate her.
Right.
So when we're in the same room, it's a little distracting, but not in a bad way. It's just.
It's kind of like watching 2 movies at the same time.
Yeah.
There's an action movie playing.
Yes. And a
and
romance.
there's a romantic kind of
Yes.
period documentary going on at the same time.
That's so funny. It is exactly like that. So that's why I say it's a little distracting because I kind of just want to focus on the documentary and the romance. I'm not sitting down for an action movie, right?
Right.
So that different speed play is kind of making me think, maybe that I can just be okay with removing that distraction and really focus on that experience with him.
Right.
And because they are the couple that they are, and we are so comfortable with them, I think I could be completely okay being in a separate room without you there, having my own experience, and then coming together after.
Now, what's interesting is when we first started swinging, we'd considered separate room play for a completely different reason. Although it was
Yeah.
similar, we were distracted by each other and what was going on, mostly because it was uncomfortable for you to watch me having sex with someone else. And you've gotten more comfortable with that, so you like watching that now.
Right.
But early on, we had considered separate room, but there was a downside to it too.
Right. But before you go to the downside,
Sure.
the other benefit of thinking that way was that being new in the lifestyle, there's so much visual and auditory,
Right.
so many senses are being bombarded at the same time, right? There's a lot of stimulus happening, and it was difficult to just focus on what was going on.
Right.
And so I thought, gosh, separate room might help alleviate some of that overstimulation. And I have a problem with being overstimulated in public places. I'm very visual, so I tend to take in a lot of information very quickly. And so I get overwhelmed quickly. So I thought, separate room play might be great.
One of the other things that we experienced pretty early on with that kind of overstimulation or distraction that was going on in the room, we noticed other play partners would have some ED issues.
Right.
Because they were so distracted by everything that's going on. It's kind of overwhelming.
Yes.
So that's another potential reason for separate room play. Like if you're distracted to the point where you can't focus to become aroused, maybe that distance or that space would help.
Right. And I think, I haven't really straight up asked anybody their reason why, because sometimes in a group party or at a house party, you don't want to like really interview people,
Sure.
right? We're in the mood, we're socializing and stuff, but a lot of people do like to be behind closed doors. They don't like to be out in the open. And I think a lot of that just really does have to do with distraction.
Another positive or another reason why you might consider separate room play is it's actually exciting for you to have the mental images without the visuals to go along with it. Some couples really like to tell the story about how it went down and how much fun and all of the juicy, sexy details afterwards when they reconnect. That hot wife scenario, if you're watching it, it's not quite the same as if you're hearing about your hot wife tell you about it after the fact. So there is that kind of sensual, almost picturing it yourself in your own head as to how it played out, that fantasy that you can relive later.
Yes. And we decided early on that we would probably suck at trying to describe all the details.
Right.
And because I am so visual, I needed to see everything. I needed to be there. But it was a double-edged sword, right?
Right.
Because then it was overwhelming.
I think we just need to get better at practice with telling dirty stories to each other so that we can get all the juicy, drippy details about it. We could practice.
Yeah, we could practice. And, maybe this is the opportunity to do that, right?
Right.
We found the right couple. They play at different speeds. I can have my alone time. You can have your alone time. We can come back together in the kitchen for snacks. I'm kind of liking this idea.
Yeah.
They're very safe. They're very, like I said, comfortable. And I think that's the key. I wouldn't do this with every couple.
No, definitely not.
It's very couple specific.
Yeah, especially for us. But I think for a lot of people, that separate room dynamic has some downsides. And actually, this is a good segue. Some of the downsides are if you're still struggling with your partner having sex with someone else, not being there to see exactly what's going on, to be reassured that nothing wrong is going on, whatever your definition of wrong is.
Yeah.
As long as, that everybody's playing by the rules that you've agreed to and you've got any kind of jealousy issues, separate room play is probably not a good thing for you.
Right.
Because once again, that fantasy, what you turn that scenario into in your own head will go crazy.
Right.
It will go way out from probably what really happened, which may have been a completely boring, maybe not even exciting sex because she didn't orgasm because he wasn't paying attention to her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've all had bad play experiences. So there is that aspect of it.
The other thing I really found surprising with this interaction with this couple was I actually had an orgasm.
Yeah.
And I say it like that because it was a good one. And it was, I believe, because of the warm-up. Yes, there have been some very nice, interactions with play, but typically it's not your mind-blowing type of orgasm because there's no time, there's distractions.
Yeah.
And because of the setting that we're typically in, we're in a club, it's an orgy, there's multiple people. Again,
hurry up.
Someone
We
wants
gotta
to
clear
use
the
the
bed.
bed, or again, someone's partner is distracted by somebody else and they need to go, pay attention to them, take care of them, be with them. So then your pleasure is, stunted, right? So it's a little like ADD sex. So because we didn't have all that and I got that great warm up, it was very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Another downside that is worth mentioning is if you're not present to see what's going on, you might actually miss out on some key experiences.
Yeah.
We've had some experiences where it wasn't exactly separate room, but it was. We were in a hotel room. It was just a very big room.
Big room.
There were multiple levels to the room. And I happened to be on a different bed with a lady. And you were downstairs with some gentlemen. And I missed that whole interaction with you and two guys.
Right.
And I've seen it repeated, so it's okay. But that first opportunity, because I wasn't there, I missed it.
And you'll never get it back.
And you can't get it back,
I
right?
know.
There's only once for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something to consider. If you're new, you're going to miss out on some of these things firsthand.
Right. So our next step is to just approach them and see what happens. I'm sure they would say yes.
I think so. Although I don't remember if we've had that conversation with them about separate play. Although we do know that he has a history of being a single male with other couples.
Right.
And I think she'd even played as a unicorn for a while. So this might actually be an opportunity.
I'd be surprised if they said no, but I'm prepared for anything, honestly. If they don't, I'm not going to be offended.
As they say, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Exactly. So we know some primary partners go on separate play dates. We aren't there yet. And I'm not sure, we would be, but we are considering the separate room play with a particular couple.